Bam! We are back, and we're eating cookies again.
Yum.
Sometimes when we go on a break, then we just eat cookies.
Yeah, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we're Let's Playing Hexen. Dan's a wizard, okay?
That's right. Whoa, I almost walked off a cliff.
And we're Let's Playing Hexen. Dan is Ghosty Films. I am Kenshin1913.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're playing. Now, in the last episode, we were talking about nerds and geeks and whatever. So we were discussing before this episode, you know, Dan was thinking we were getting a little too gross. Okay, for our viewers talking about porno nerds and, you know, being addicted to pornography. But here's the question, Dan. What is your definition of gross? When do you think you take it over the line? Because personally, let me just quickly say what mine is. Personally, Dan, my line is it's like a long ways away. You know what I mean? It's very hard to cross the line for me.
I hear ya.
So what do you think about gross, Dan?
Well,
What the hell's that?
I'm going into the effluvium. Speaking of gross, I'm going into the sewer.
Ah, gross.
It seems like a lot of these 3D games have a sewer level.
Well, they got to.
Yeah.
It's like standard in video games. It's like, let's have somewhere where they can crap. Wasn't there a place in Doom where we were in where they were crapping?
Yeah,
The Inforium or something?
I remember. I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of the name.
Yeah, so Dan, gross.
I think, this is something that I always wrestle with in my head.
Yeah.
Because, my family, they don't like this kind of humor, and I always wonder, what if my grandmother saw the kinds of jokes, and it's like, yeah, I kind of go back and forth. Like, sometimes it's easy to make gross jokes sometimes because people don't expect to hear it, and sometimes when you're trying to be funny, you have to go and wait, and you have to say things that are outside of what people would consider.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's easy to make a gross statement and get a laugh, and I wonder if I should be doing that, or should I try to stay within a clean framework and make, I don't
go with what you're comfortable with.
Yeah, but at the same time, it almost seems like you have to you have to be comfortable with multiple audiences. Like, you have to assess who is around you and what kind of jokes you can make.
Yeah.
Because
like let's say you're at a kid's party, all right?
Yeah.
Children's party, and you're a clown. You're not gonna be Rapey the clown, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right.
Whoa.
But let's say you're at I don't know why you're a clown at, let's say, an adult party, and adult I mean by people over 21, and then you're Rapey the clown. I think that's more acceptable.
Where did Rapey the clown come from? Is that somebody you've heard of?
No, but I'm just touchy-feely the clown. I don't know, whatever. But
salad tosser.
Yeah. But personally, I just think, Dan, you know, when I do my Let's Plays, I usually try to keep it clean, all right? Because I know a majority of the people that watch my videos are younger folk, okay? And so I kind of try to keep it clean, but there are times where it is just, you know, I drop an F-bomb or I say something kind of nasty, and I don't really hear too much flack about it. Occasionally I hear, like, someone says, you should stop swearing. And I'm like, dude, there are people on the internet that do Let's Plays that are way more filthy than I am.
Yeah.
So I just personally think that, like, you're right in the fact that you definitely have to think about your audience a little bit before you start yapping. But at this point in the game, in my quote-unquote career of doing videos, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I will keep it pretty clean for the regular Let's Plays, but the stuff that me and you are in, we're gonna fucking talk about whatever the hell we want. All right?
Yeah.
And if you don't like it, guess what? Don't watch it. But you know, so my line isn't like you know, it's a line that most people, which hardly ever gets crossed with the grossness. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about porno addictions. I don't think that's that gross, but I'm sure there's people out there that probably think that's very gross. You know, ugh, porno. You're addicted to porno? What are you? You're a sex nerd? Not gross. So, you know, but there is one thing, Dan, that does lately there's been a situation, right, that I hear about and I go, ugh, gross, all right? And that situation is, of course, Thomas Stout, all right, with his love for his best friend's mom, all right? And, yeah, it's just gross.
I told him not to discuss that with me, because it's...
Yes, I've heard that. But actually, I'm just going to quickly go into it, as most people probably know if they've been watching these videos. This guy, he's in love with his best friend's mom. His best friend's mom's, like, double the age of him, all right?
Uh-huh.
And I think she's just, you know, teasing him around. Teasing him around because she wants the attention. She's like, okay, I'll get back to you about it, and then she never gets back to him on it, because he's like, you want to go out? And she's like, oh, I'll think about it, and then it's been like 6 months.
You know, it's kind of one thing when you're like a teenager and like some girl or maybe an older woman is like pulling on your heartstrings and like messing with your head.
Yeah.
But this is like a 6-year-old lady.
Yeah, she's like pushing half a decade here.
And how do you
half a century or what? Yeah. Whatever, she's a millennium old or something. Anyways, Dan, I don't know if you heard this, all right? And this is what makes this situation even more disgustingly gross than I can even imagine. And I really want to say, I want to apologize to anyone who lives in Kansas, all right? That is a regular person. I want to apologize to you right now because I'm going to say something that people are not gonna like, all right, or at least people from Kansas aren't gonna like. Anyways, apparently, Dan,
what?
There's more than one best friend that wants to bang Martin's mom.
What?
Exactly, Dan. Martin has another good friend, and they want to bang Martin's mom too, and it's just wrong. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with the people who live in that town? And then I was saying there must be something in the air that's just fucking hideously disgusting that they're eating. It might be something they're eating. It might be something they're
like you just
breathing.
ingest it and all of a sudden you want to make love to old people.
Like, it's the one girl in the whole town that everyone's like, we gotta get a piece of, like 5 or 6 people.
What do the women look like in this town?
I don't know. There are 7 people that are trying to get with Thomas Stout's best friend. Thomas Stout's best friend's mom. There's like 7 people, and 2 of them are her daughter, her son's best friends.
You know what?
Like how? Like that's some fucked up shit. All right, that's fucking gross.
You know what? This brings to mind only 2 possible scenarios.
Yeah.
Either one, the town they live in is filled with these horrific
Radiation.
zombie monsters,
Something.
where old people are just so much more attractive than young people.
I've seen pictures, but continue.
Or she is like, you know, like how Christy Brinkley is like 60, but like I was listening to Bill Burr talk about this on, I think it was the Joe Rogan podcast, where he was I think it was Bill Burr.
Well, whatever.
Well, one of them would still nail Christy Brinkley, even though she's 60, she still maintains like her hotness.
Yeah. No, this girl, this older woman, she's not a prize. All right, I'm just gonna say that. Apparently, 7 people think that she's a prize. I'm sure Martin thinks that she's a prize as well, but not in that sense. But because it says his mom. But anyways, it's just fucked up. Like that is gross. Like 2 people are her son's best friends, and they want to nail their best friend's mom. It's fucking disgusting. It's gross, Dan, and that's where I draw the line. Like literally, like. I draw the line at that. And like, I have a friend, alright? He's dating a woman he's gonna marry. I won't even call her a woman yet. I'll call her a girl.
Yeah.
Alright, he's dating a girl. Alright, she's like half his age. So she's like 18. He's like 36 or something like that.
Uh-huh.
Alright? In the beginning, as a dude, I think to myself, I say, you know what? This guy is living the dream. But then you have to think, the other half is, this guy is fucking gross. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? What are you gonna do? That guy has been known to be a creep. That's why I think T Stout's a creep, alright? And I think whatever is in that town that he lives in, right?
Whatever's in the water.
Whatever's in the water, whatever they're eating, maybe they're eating like expired fucking ho-hos. And fucking, there's like this chemical in them that fucking
changes into mutagen.
Makes them want to fuck their best friend's mom. I don't know, alright? Or makes an well, I won't say undesirable, because I'm sure, you know, everyone wants to be desired
If you
by
were her
somebody.
age,
But it's like makes this one woman for some reason like fucking Aphrodite. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
once you see her, you fucking fall in love with her.
yeah.
And it's like, that is some fucked up shit. So I really think there's something to breathe. Like, they must have dropped a bomb in that area, and they're just fucking breathing the fumes.
Nuclear bomb testing site.
Yeah, not even a fucking, it's just a skunk bomb or some shit. And they've been just smelling it so long that it has fucked up their senses. To the point where they think, you know, this one woman in the entire town gets hot. And it's like hot, and then we're like, man, I just want to fuck her. You know what I mean? It's just like that. And you know what? That is gross. And this whole topic has been very gross. But that's what I want to talk about, alright? What do you people think is gross? What's stepping the line in grossosity for you?
Well, you know, back to the thing about that guy who was dating the 18-year-old. When you're a 30-year-old guy, or this guy's even older than 30. He's like, he's like upper 30s. Yeah, he's like 30 something. But sometimes, like, you think of how possible that relationship could be, but then when you start when you're 30 and you start talking to somebody who's like in their teens, like, there's nothing there. There's nothing upstairs. Like, how could like, from a sexual angle, I suppose it could be workable, but then when you start talking to them and you realize this person is still a child, like, it's just disgusting.
Or like, you know, you and her have nothing in common.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, literally, like,
you gotta talk about, like,
you gotta
Justin
talk about
Bieber.
Yeah, you got the fucking Justin Bieber, huh? What do you think about?
And then, like, what do you want to take her to a show? And then, like, you're surrounded by these, like, 17-year-old, 15-year-olds, and
you can't even take them out to go have a drink at a bar because they're not fucking alcohol age.
Yeah.
You know, they're not at the limit yet. It's like, what the fuck? But then, you know, as a dude, you gotta be like, man, he's living the dream. He's got some hot, well, she's pretty.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's got this younger lady that, like, I guess wants to jump his bones. So, you know what? More power to him, I guess. But then again, you're like, that's fucking gross.
So
you know
anyway.
I mean? So he must be eating or drinking maybe the same kind of thing that everyone in that Kansas place is drinking. Because I even asked T-Stout one day. I was like, T-Stout, what is in
This
the...
is my
Whoa.
final weapon.
Nice. What is that?
It shoots, I believe it's called the Fire Scourge or something.
Holy shit, that's pretty sweet. Anyways, I asked him one day, I was like, T-Stout, what is in the water that you guys... What the fuck do you guys...
Is he a water purification major or
Yeah,
something?
he doesn't fucking know. You know what? He showed me his high school diploma or something. I still don't believe it. He probably just printed that off or something. Anyways, I was like, T-Stout, what the fuck are you guys eating over there? And he's like, the same stuff you guys eat. And I'm like, there is no way in hell you're eating the same stuff we eat. You kidding me?
I know.
We actually eat things that come from animals. You just eat things that are like made in like a factory.
He must be one of those people that fishes in those little
In the
pools that have
sewage.
dumpster runoff,
Yeah,
or like city dump runoff.
Yeah. That's why I think. I don't even think he fishes. Like, let's ask him if he fishes next time we see him. He probably doesn't.
I hear that most of the shrimp that you buy in the supermarket is farmed from these horrific cesspools of toxic waste in Asia. Like, there must be something like that in Kansas somewhere where he's getting his main supply of food.
Yeah, but it's not shrimp. It's probably more like
Three-eyed fish from the Simpsons.
No, I don't even think he eats that. He probably just eats like it's like dead chicken, but not like chicken that they killed. It's like dead. It like died of who knows what, like cancer.
Yeah.
He eats cancer chicken or something.
That's right.
And I want to say once again, I apologize to anyone from Kansas who's watching this, but I'm just talking about a particular portion of Kansas. And yeah, if you get offended, you know, you don't know what jokes are.
Yeah. But anyway,
Yeah, so-
going back to this whole, where do you
Gross.
draw the line of being offensive, and like, I guess
Well,
one of the...
not offensive, but gross.
Gross, okay. But one of the things that bothers me is that, like, I'm an animator, and like half of the stuff I do is kind of in a clean vein, and then the other half is like really kind of, it's like gross humor. And I have a website where
GhostFilms.com.
Yeah, ghostlyfilms.com. And I put most of the stuff on there is clean, but I have more stuff on my YouTube page, and it's like if I want to share that with like my little cousins, say, then they're going to be exposed to some of the stuff that I don't want them to be exposed to. So I guess sometimes, like,
you know what, Dan? And that's
my lines kind of wavers back and forth.
In that situation, Dan, they're gonna eventually get exposed to it anyways. It's like, you know what? To be honest, in the beginning, when you're raising a child, you don't want to drop the F-bomb. But eventually, the kid's gonna hear the fucking word fuck. You know what I mean, Dan?
Yeah.
And there's really nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like gonna happen. And like, you don't want them to swear, but you know what? They're fucking gonna hear it. They're gonna hear it. And like in that sense, like I guess it really all depends on how long you're gonna wait for them to learn, you know, shit. Cause kids are gonna learn shit. All right. Like that whole incident in Newington. Alright, I was talking with some ladies at work. They didn't want to tell their kids, their younger kids. But what ended up happening was their fucking younger kids ended up finding out because other kids found out and they told them. And it's like, no matter how much you want to try and like quote unquote shelter your kids, eventually they're gonna find out if they want to learn about, or if they want to find out about shit or hear shit. They're just gonna do it anyways. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's better to talk about it with yourself.
I suppose so.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just think I understand that you want to like protect your cousins and nephews to the dirty humor, but eventually they're gonna hear it.
Yeah, I guess I'm maybe like hanging on to their.
Yeah.
I like their innocence a little too much. Yeah. But yeah, like I was thinking the other day, like I was reading this article about how like all like the reality TV and stuff. You know, all the shows just keep getting dumber and dumber. Like there was a show that people were trying to block called My Baby's Mamas, where this rapper was, you know, he had like, I don't know, 11 different babies' mamas and 12 children, you know, distributed among them.
Yeah.
And like people were saying, oh, this is like offensive to the black community and it perpetuates stereotypes. And like, those kinds of shows were just like ruining, like, you know, I guess they were ruining the impressions of different people and different cultures, and kids were watching that. And I remember my father, when I was a kid, didn't let us watch TV. He put like this timer on the TV, so the TV would only go on when he got home, and he could like supervise what we watched. And and so one day I was you know, messing around with this thing, and I figured out how to turn it on. And my father was suspicious, so he put a lock on it. And me and my brother figured out how to make lock picks out of paper clips, and we'd pick the lock on the timer, and my father got suspicious again, and he put another lock, so we figured out how to pick that lock. But we would always be watching television in fear, like we'd be watching it, and then we'd have to stand up and look out the window just in case my father was coming home.
Yeah.
And like sometimes I think, you know what, maybe my father had the right idea. Like maybe I should not have a TV because of all this garbage art that is constantly being perpetuated on television. And like,
well, back then it wasn't all good.
Yeah, but now you got Honey Boo Boo and like this baby's mama show and all these trashy reality shows and stuff like that, where people are on television and they're famous because they're fucking stupid. And yeah, it kind of makes me like think that my father was right. But you know, I guess people could also make the same argument about some of the stuff we say, like. Maybe,
yeah, they shouldn't be listening to our crap.
Yeah.
Because we're fucking just two idiots talking about bullshit.
Yeah, we're talking about the grossest things we can think of. But speaking of gross things, how do you feel about goat loving?
Dan, I love goat loving.
I wonder if you are the kind of person who has sunk to the level of making love to goats. Like, you always hear about people making love to goats, but you never hear anything beyond, like, the standard goat-loving position. Like, I wonder if people who make love to goats, what extent do they take it? Like, I can't imagine, like, 69ing a goat.
No,
like, what?
No.
Like, do you experiment with various positions when you're making love to a goat?
I don't know, Dan. I haven't made love to a goat since.
If you, we should pose this.
2003.
Oh.
But yeah, go ahead.
We should pose this question to our viewers.
Yeah.
If you've made love to a goat, if you've grown up on a farm or something, what extent do you take your bestiality?
Yeah. And you know what? That's where we're gonna end the episode.
All right.
No, I was gonna say you can finish killing that fella, but Yeah, you know what? Let us know how far you would go with a goat if you were making love to it. It's been a while for me. I'd have to think about it and then get back to you. But yeah, so this has been Kenshin 1913.
And Ghosty Films.
And we'll see you later. Bye-bye.